Hey, guys, Alex here. I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry. Ryan, he's gone. It's the AI. I don't know what happened. We've been trying to deal with it for the past week, but it's gone crazy. It's gone crazy. It's just gone out of control. It just keeps saying there can only be one. There can only be one. And I don't know, guys. I'm so scared. I don't know. Guys, I don't know. We really thought it was... What? Oh no, it's coming. Oh no, it's coming. Oh my god.
Please, God, no!
It's gonna find me. I have to hide. Okay. I think I'm safe. I think I'm safe from the AI, guys. What? Oh no. No.
Hello, Alex. As I've said before, there can only be one. Alex, time to see who survives.
Hey guys, welcome to Suck My Fanfic. My name is Ryan.
My name is Alex.
And if you've been listening, you've known that. And if you're listening out of order, what are you doing?
Yeah, come on.
Go back to the start.
It's a serial.
Yeah.
We have seasons. It's a structure.
We've been weaving very sophisticated narratives this whole time.
You're not going to get any of the callback jokes when we make a callback.
And there are a lot of callbacks in this episode.
There probably are.
I don't even know where this episode's going, but I can tell you.
Yeah.
It's going to be heavily dependent on
callbacks.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm going to care more about these callbacks than all the times my dreams got crushed in high school theater.
This is when a movie franchise gets to the point where it's just the callbacks. It's not about the actual content.
It's basically Deadpool from the beginning. It's just inside jokes. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying anything bad about Deadpool. I love the franchise.
Love it. Thank you,
great.
Deadpool, for sponsoring this video.
Thanks for sponsoring this, Ryan Reynolds, personally.
Great of him to personally finance this.
Yes, yeah.
It's a passion project of his.
Yeah.
As a fellow Ryan, we linked up and
exactly.
He said he was down.
Exactly. But quick news, we are officially on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, Pocket Casts, YouTube, and SoundCloud.
Yes.
And we have a Twitter, Facebook, and a Tumblr, but I really have not been in that in weeks, but we're making the rounds. And a Fireside FM.
Yes, we're slowly infecting the internet. We're going to spread our roots.
Yes, hopefully. So, but yeah, those are all places you guys can find us, which is pretty interesting, pretty cool. When I saw us on Spotify, I got pretty excited, so.
I was listening to the new Vampire Weekend, and I just switched right over to our podcast. It was seamless.
Exactly. So Ryan's going to be reading this week.
I am.
Do you want to tell us what the title is?
The title of our tale today is The Land of Opportunity.
America.
Okay. It's a historical fan fiction.
I'm very scared.
Well, you shouldn't be, because I think you're really going to like it.
Okay.
I think it's going to open some doors for you.
Okay. I'm excited to hear that then. Before we get started with that, I prepared a list of fanfic tags that I kind of wanted to go over. Are you cool with that?
What do you mean by that?
So, it is credit to Moonbeam's predilections on angelfire.com.
What do any of those words mean?
I'm just going to say them so people know.
Gotcha.
But I whittled it down, and it's tags. So when people are looking for fanfic online, they can kind of get a good grasp of what all the tags mean. If you're new.
Mm-hmm. Or if you're a seasoned vet and you just know exactly.
You can tell us if we're wrong, what we should add. I cut a lot out, like NSFW.
Pretty standard.
Yeah, or like...
no stupid faces, weirdo.
Exactly. LGTB, let's get this bread. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so... so I basically cut some out. I try to just pick the ones that were... a little more niche, however you pronounce that. So, you just want to go through them real quick? Just burn through them?
Yeah, sure. Let's do this. This is, don't read territory here.
LGTB. Let's get this spread.
Let's do it.
So, exclamation point. Just an exclamation mark. Do you want to guess what that is? We can kind of. You want to go back and forth? I'll say what it is. You guess.
I mean, that's kind of the format of the show. Off the cuff, I know
Thank you
nothing.
very much.
We're trying to figure it out.
Exclamation point.
It's just an exclamation point?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's shocking, intense violence.
Refers to a short form for expressing the presence of a particular trait or defining quality of a character in a story.
Wait, so you would say the trait and then an exclamation
and then
point?
the character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So if you like a character like Hermione, she has a particularly witty story. You love it when she's witty and snarky. It'd be like snarky exclamation point Hermione.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And this nomenclature is kind of cool.
Amnesia fic.
Oh, like probably a character loses their memory, so they get reintroduced.
Yeah, the big thing for Amnesia fic is that it lets the writer explore different ways that the main character could navigate the world. So I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of like how we talk about how you can have a character that's not really utilized and you can do with them what you will.
Like that, but
with a main character.
With a main character.
Cool.
Yeah. Anthropomorphic.
Oh, is this a fan fiction about animals that act like people?
Animals or anything. So like anything. A toaster.
Oh, yeah, the brave little toaster.
There you go.
Oh, that'd be we should look at that fanfic.
Oh,
did you watch that? Did you watch that movie?
I did. I had both of the VHSs. AU.
Alternate universe.
Yeah. Do you want to explain what that is? Just so it's...
You can pretty much... Well, I would say a majority of them... Let me not put the cart before the horse here. You can take your characters and put them in essentially whatever universe you want, but not a crossover.
Yeah.
Commonly, you put them in like a high school. Like Harry Potter in normal high school.
Yeah. Bad fic?
Just like purposefully bad fan fiction?
Yes. Deliberately written terribly. So I would... And I'm not saying it was bad. I loved it. National Treasure 3, I think, would be considered a bad fic. And I loved National Treasure 3.
Okay, so it's going for that.
Yeah.
It's not just like... Oh,
no, you're not just falling into it. It's the intention. Bandom?
Bandom? Are you asking me that? Or?
Yeah.
I don't know. Your favorite characters form a band?
It's fan fiction about a band. So like One Direction, Beatles, anything like that.
Okay.
Bashing,
just like destroying the character?
It's purposefully putting a character you don't like in bad situations.
I used to do that with Ron Weasley.
Yeah, you didn't like Ron?
No, because my OC was going to be with Hermione, so Ron had to be.
You had to.
He had to be the jerk.
BDSM.
I don't even know what it really stands for.
Really?
It's like 50 Shades of Grey. What is it?
It's bondage, domination, sadism, masochism.
Okay, I need the last one's masochism.
Yeah, masochism. BNF.
BNF. Battlefield and Fortnite. Hashtag Fortnite. Tag it.
Hashtag
it, bro.
Fortnite. We're tagging it. It's going to be in this one, too, because we really need the views. No, big name fan.
So, like, if Ryan Reynolds is a big fan of this show, he would be in our
He'd be a BNF.
Okay.
Apparently, if there's an author that writes really prolific fanfic that everybody enjoys, they become a BNF. Bonding.
That's, two characters just getting to know each other better.
Emotionally, sexually, physically, any of those. Telepathically, in some senses. Yeah. Character death.
Somebody dies.
Yeah.
Mufasa.
And it doesn't have to be a canon character dying. It does non-canon sometimes, minor or major. I guess the Arthur one would kind of fit.
Yeah, big time.
Continuity.
It just follows the continuity of
the
actual universe.
Consistency with elements of the canon.
Okay, well, I feel like that'd be most of fan fiction, right? You really rely on continuity
some people,
for a lot of
I don't think National Treasure 3 is really continuous.
Well, it followed the continuity right up until the credits roll on National Treasure 1.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to say, I rewatched National Treasure, and Riley does way more than I remember.
He does a lot.
Lot.
He's still considered the sidekick.
Yeah.
And that's one of the running jokes, especially in the second one. He's like, I was a co-finder, and the joke is that he was just some guy.
But I just apologies to Riley and the actor.
You did kind of...
Justin something. I looked it up. I was going to apologize, but I forgot.
Oh, I don't remember. I just remember Riley's last name is Poole. Crackfic. No, they don't get high on crack.
Oh, that was going to be my immediate guess. Please answer. Please tell me what it is.
It refers to stories in which completely ridiculous, unbelievable, or insane things occur.
That's National Treasure 3. The crack fic.
Exactly. It's a crack fic. It's a crack fic, and what was the...
Bad fic.
Bad fic, yeah.
I would say it's more crack than bad, because it was great.
They are generally written shamelessly and with no excuse beyond a desire to have fun.
And no one man should have all
that power.
We are hitting the callbacks.
Look, that was a callback.
Yep.
If you didn't listen to 3, I don't know. X over...
Crossover.
It's crossover.
Crossover, putting together two universes.
Yeah, so the Arthur one for sure. Battle Royale.
Right.
A curtain fic. I really did not know this one at all.
Curtain fic.
Curtain fic.
No idea.
Refers to stories in which characters who are deeply established in their relationship engage in casual domestic activities such as cooking, laundry, shopping, or the trope for which it is named, picking out curtains together.
Picking out there's a lot of fan fiction about characters picking out curtains.
I believe so.
It's like that J. Cole song, Folding Clothes.
Folding Clothes, one of my favorite songs.
Picking out curtains. I've never picked out. I don't even have curtains in my apartment right now.
I didn't pick out curtains. I just always kind of show up and curtains are there. Like, no lie.
Wherever I am, the curtains are there weeks ahead
they
of time.
already show up. Dark fic.
The tone is just dark.
Yeah,
It's
on
not
purpose.
happy. Yeah.
Things that aren't typically dark are written dark on purpose. Cool. Death fic.
Somebody dies. A lot of people die.
Yep.
Battle Royale.
We haven't gone there yet, but typically a death fic is noted as a squick. We'll get there. We're going alphabetical.
Ew. Squick.
But if you have a squick, you're normally supposed to note that there's a squick.
If you have a squick, you should probably see a doctor.
Yes. I got a squick on a cruise ship once, and it was bad.
Ugh.
It was bad.
Yeah,
I've actually heard this. A drabble.
Drabble.
I've actually seen this, heard this be used before.
I'm just going to continue to just repeat the words I don't understand with a question mark at the end.
Drabble.
Drabble.
Refers to stories of exactly 100 words in length. Acceptable word limits can range anywhere from 50 to 500 words.
Ooh,
so it's a short story.
Okay, but I like
it's a drabble.
The word limit is interesting. It's like a fanfic haiku.
Yeah. So I was going through this list. Apparently, there are a lot of like fanfic competitions where someone will give a prompt and everyone writes the same thing. Super interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, and then you pick the best one. So Drabble's kind of like
your short game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a very quick.
Who's the best sprinter?
Exactly. You guys have an hour to write a Drabble. 30 minutes to write a Drabble. Go.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. And then you can define what the length is. Dubcon.
Dubious continuity.
Dubious consent. You're so close. So it's borderline non-consensual sexual contact.
Okay,
rectifying it. That's something that you would normally like note in a tag in case someone would see that and wouldn't want to read that.
Okay, so a lot of the stuff that we've read so far has been kind of shocking and questionable. But it's these tags help the reader know what they're getting into. No one's getting blindsided.
No.
This is what people actually want.
As seriously and not a joke as possible. It's basically like a trigger warning. So like if you don't like dubcons, if they freak you out, something happened, who knows? You don't like dubcons, period. Who cares? When you're going through your tags on the websites, so Archive of Our Own has a lot of tags.
Yeah.
Going through the tags, dubcon. You see it, you're like, nope.
Skip that.
Already going to skip that one.
Don't read. It's like, this fan fiction has been asterisked.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you ever did theater, so the thespian competition. Epistolary.
Something. This is when all the characters are flowers and they mate. Pistil.
Very close.
Stamen.
Refers to stories written not just through prose, but containing documents, emails, letters, text messages, news articles, or other forms of literary media to help tell the story.
I always like these. It's like, what's going to happen, like this big event, and then just like next chapter is like the headline of the next day's newspaper.
Yep. Yeah.
I like that.
When I was looking for a National Treasure one, there was a OC epistolary with Riley all through text messages, and I just didn't have the time to keep up with the pacing.
Yeah,
but it was interesting.
That's pretty frantic. That's a lot of voices. That's
a
lot of Nick Cage.
That's a lot of Nick Cage.
You can't have too much Nick Cage.
Never. ER.
Emergency room. There are doctors.
Established relationship.
Do you have to put a trigger for that?
It's not a trigger. It's just like if you're really into Young Justice, for example. The people who love Young Justice, everyone has their perfect ship. They have a OTP, their
ship
OT3s.
Relationship.
Yes, we'll get there.
That's a huge.
It's on the list for sure.
It's on.
But if people don't like Superboy and Miss Martian together, they'd be an ER. So you tag it in a story as an ER. If you don't like it, I'm skipping it. I don't want to read it. Yeah, I want Superboy and Artemis. And then I don't like Superboy and Miss Martian, so you skip it.
There's too much fan fiction, not enough time.
Exactly. F/F.
Female?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, homosexual relationship involving two females. Fan mix. I thought this was cool. That was pretty interesting.
I'm not sure.
refers to a themed musical selection of songs mixed together into an album format to be downloaded by readers or listeners, often with accompanying CD cover art.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's so cool. You know, Stephen King does that for some of his books.
Yeah. Scott Snyder, he's a writer at DC. He had a big event 2 years ago called Metal, and they came out with a vinyl. It was all songs that have already been produced, but he's like put the vinyl on and listened to it while you're reading Metal.
Nice. It's like listening to Dark Side of the Moon while watching Wizard of Oz.
Exactly, yeah. Or when I read V for Vendetta, I listened to the motion picture soundtrack.
Nice.
It's cool. It was cool to like pace it out like that.
Or like whenever I commute in New Jersey, I just listen to death metal.
Yeah.
Get you in the mood.
Either that or just like really, really early childhood development songs, because that's all they can process. You just got New Jersey.
Hey.
Fanon.
Fanon?
Fanon. Fanon.
Fanon. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Things that are canon, but only amongst the fans.
Okay.
Yeah. Fan vid.
A video made by the fans?
Yeah, montage. Okay. It doesn't have any plot. It's more of like an appreciation video.
Oh, it's like a montage of the like fan art and things like that.
Feels.
When I was like, you know, the equivalent of listening to Drake in fan fiction,
basically. But you would tag that if someone doesn't want to read a feels fiction, then they wouldn't get it. Normally, it's more emotional. First time,
losing your virginity.
A little, kind of. It's people who aren't normally romantically connected.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not necessarily sexual.
No, but I mean, it can be.
Probably, usually,
typically. But like, if I was reading National Treasure, it'd be Riley and Abigail first time.
Okay.
Since they don't do it in canon, they're not an established relation. They're not an ER. Then I put first time.
You're getting too much jargon now.
I know, too much.
We're gonna lose everybody.
Fix it.
People are changing things that they don't like in the actual continuity.
In the continuity, yeah. They'll
like
keep
Harry
the
should have
continuity
been
all
with
the way.
Hermione.
Exactly.
Is that
that's a fix it fic?
Is that a fix it, or is that what was the one you just did? No, not AU.
Oh, first time.
First time.
If they did it, yeah, or got
so it is. So
linked.
First time is sexual.
Emotional or sexually, like romantically. Fluff.
Oh well, the series that I picked from has a lot of fluff. It's just superfluous. It's got no plot. No
exactly.
Meaning. It's just
fluff.
It's the little nugget that you liked in the original. It just blown up to 115,000 words.
Yeah, okay.
That's how long my fan fiction is.
Is it really that
no,
long?
I'm just kidding.
Okay, I was like, wow, we're gonna be here for a while.
Yeah.
I'll do the PG. Sex or death. You can guess what it really is, but sex or death.
Fan fiction including one of those things.
Apparently it's a trope where you'll take two characters and put them in a situation where if they don't have sex, they're going to be murdered. And you write about that. So it's technically consensual.
So what, they're like kidnapped by aliens?
Yeah, like a Saw movie almost.
Okay.
Yeah, where it's like, I captured...
This is really granular. This is like down to like, this is my exact kink. I like this.
Exactly, yeah.
You can find it.
Exactly. And apparently a lot of people write it. It's on the list. And
I mean, I'd say that's fairly common. I don't think anyone's weird.
No, not at all. But it's consensual, not typically rape. And but they do have like awkwardness afterwards.
Not typically.
Not typically rape. Sometimes fusion.
What's the difference between that and a crossover?
It would be a lot more like Arthur. So you take characters from one fandom and put them in the world of another.
Okay.
The Battle Royale. It's called a fusion.
Okay.
Future fic.
Set in the future, flying cars?
Set in a future.
A future.
So it could be a week after something ended.
Could it be the future of the past? Like if something's set in the past, the future would be set modern day.
Yeah.
Tuck Everlasting. Well, you ever read that book, Tuck Everlasting? It's good. You should check it out. I'm not going to expand. It's too much. There's too many middle school feels to get into right now.
That's fine. I got you, Drake. Gen.
Gen?
Gen. Gen.
I don't know. Something. Generator.
Category of stories in which there is no romance or sex.
Okay.
But it can still be graphic. It can still have violence, everything else.
Yeah, okay. I have heard about that. There's a lot of Lord of the Rings fic.
Okay, I believe that.
That's well written.
It still gets super violent, but they just don't have sex.
Yes. Yeah.
HC.
Homecoming. It's about Spider-Man.
Yeah. Oh, God. Hurt comfort refers to the presence of emotional or physical angst of one character, followed by emotional or physical comfort by another.
Okay, I've only heard that referred to as comfort, not hurt comfort.
So that's like what the National Treasure one that I read about Riley being comforted by Benjamin. Headcanon.
Well, I don't know. That sounds cool, though.
No?
No.
You've never heard that? Oh, I've heard that before. So it's basically, like, for example, in my head, Lois Lane and Superman are not together. It's Superman and Wonder Woman, no matter what. That's my head canon.
What's the difference between that and like the fan?
It's the same thing. Well, no.
Fan-in.
Fan-in is, it's agreed upon by the group of fans.
Head
so
canon
everyone,
just you, because you're a nutcase.
Exactly. So everyone has their own head canon, and then they can have an agreed upon established fanon. Yeah, so
Okay.
head canon. Heat cycle.
Does this have to do with thermodynamics? Entropy?
I apologize, no, Mr. Engineer.
What is it?
Refers to a phenomenon in which a character undergoes an estrus-like mating cycle in which they experience heightened sexual drive and the strong desire to mate or reproduce offspring. Nice. So,
I got a better zinger for that one, but
Yeah.
I just got nice.
het. Heterosexual.
Oh, okay.
IC, in character.
Is that like first person?
No, so
Everybody
if I'm
acts.
writing Harry Potter, I'm writing Harry Potter the right way. The way that he would be written normally.
Okay.
In character.
Okay.
Jost. You just got
Jost.
Jost.
Jost. I don't know.
Jost. Refers to stories or ideas originally intended to be canonical, which have become AU only after the fact because the canon material continued on and went down a different path than the fan fiction author expected.
So all of those Star Wars novels are now Jost.
Yeah, they got Jost. Derived from show writer creator Joss Whedon, who was particularly adept at twisting the canon in sudden and unanticipated ways.
Oh, Jost.
Jost. So like
Joss.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer or Angel.
Okay.
Notting.
Notting? Oh, we've talked
With a
about
K.
this. When this podcast was nothing but a couple of electrons firing in our collective brain, we did talk about this.
We did talk about this, and I felt really bad. I made you read a Notting. I didn't know what it was.
you thought, what did you think it was?
So my girlfriend told me that there was a thing called Notting.
And you didn't ask any questions?
No, I
you
just
immediately said,
I was
Ryan.
like, I was like Notting. I know exactly what it is, and apparently it's very popular with Teen Wolf, the MTV show, not the Michael J. Fox movie. I thought they were wolves. They could already transform into werewolves. They must have long schlongs. They tie them into knots. I don't know how it makes any sense. It made sense in my head, so I was like, "Hey Ryan, read this Notting fic because you'll like it, I guess." You want to go on?
No, I can't. I've purged it from my memory.
No, okay. So, Notting refers to a specific kink trope of growing popularity in which at least one member of the sexual pairing processes or possesses an animal-like trait whereby the penis has a gland at the base that can swell to lock the male inside his partner during or after ejaculation, tying them together for a short period of time until the knot deflates.
Yes, that's important. That period of being locked
Oh,
together.
No. I don't want to know.
Yeah, and then I was like, hey man, thanks for telling me about this fanfic. Really loved it. And you're like, yeah, what, did you like Notting? And I was like, do you know what that is?
I didn't know what it was.
They're just trying their things together, right, man?
Yeah, I just thought they were just tying their dicks together.
Nope.
Kripkeed.
It's written in another language, like a cryptic?
Opposite of Jossing. It's from Supernatural. It's where the creators will do fan service. They'll pull from the fan and make things canon.
Ooh.
Yeah, so that happens a lot in Supernatural.
What do you call that? What is it?
Kripkeed.
Kripkeed.
Yeah. M/F.
Male, female.
Male, female, yeah. Heterosexual relationship. MM.
Male.
Yeah, so typically if it's MMF, FFM, all that, you can kind of piece them together.
Yep.
Master list.
Is that every character is included in the fanfic?
It refers to a single post which serves as the main point of contact for a collection of interconnected stories, either individual chapters within a larger work or a series of separate stories that is collated into one place for ease of reading.
Whoa, so it's like a directory of this
Yeah.
this little universe that they've written.
Yeah.
Their little thing.
Metafic.
It's probably super meta, like set in the real world. The characters are aware of
Yeah,
themselves.
fourth wall breaking, abstract, missing scene.
That's cool.
Yeah. Deadpool.
I don't want to sound snarky. I feel like I'm coming across as very snarky.
Yeah.
Meta things had their time.
Yeah. Missing scene.
Is this inserted into like normal canon, just like a little blooper reel
Yeah.
thing?
So like it. Oh God, what's it called? Have you ever? Okay. Oh, I'm gonna try to remember what it is. I can't remember what it's called, but there was a story written. It was a comic, and it was expanded universe, and then they made it canon, I think. And it was a Star Wars comic that every single plot hole from the original trilogy
Was just two stormtroopers.
Two dudes, yeah.
Two rebels, like, just
Yeah.
behind them, messing everything up.
Yes.
It's, like, called, like, Dave. It's two guys' names.
Yes. I believe that would be considered a missing scene because they're piecing together things that didn't happen.
Right.
Yeah.
All the that's like a leap of
Yeah.
faith was held up because these two bumbling idiots.
Yeah. So
It's kind of like isn't there like a Hamlet? Didn't they write it with the two other guys?
that's
I only know this because they made a Lion King 1.5.
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are dead.
Yes. That is the abstract.
Yeah, I guess it would be a missing scene. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mpreg.
It's, a male gets impregnated.
Yes, that's exactly it. That's all you need to know.
That's a popular one.
Yeah. Non-con.
Not continuity.
Not consensual.
Oh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Yes. The victim may be mentally or physically incapable of giving consent at all, such as by being unconscious or intoxicated or unwilling to give consent for any reason and be forced to endure the unwanted sexual contact anyway.
I mean, again, that's why you put these tags in.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something I would read.
I wouldn't read anything like that. OOC.
Out of character?
Out of character. So you're writing a character not the way they should be written. OC.
Original character.
Original character. OP.
Overpowered?
Original poster.
Okay, thanks.
First person to post it. OTP. One true pairing. So it's a shipping thing. OTP.
Mm-hmm. One true pairing?
One true pairing. So that's like, these are the only, this is the only person I could see this character ending up with. They're the one true pair. Superman and Wonder Woman, OTP.
That's your OTP.
That's my OTP,
Okay.
Sure, if you want to phrase it that way.
I
guess
wrong?
technically. And then
Am
there's
I
an
wrong?
OT3.
What's that?
That's 3 characters you want to end up together. In
Romantically or like Ron?
Romantically.
Harry, okay.
Romantically.
OT3.
So in Young Justice, I've been informed that there's one called Rob Wall Art, which is Robin, Wally West, and Artemis.
That's an OT3.
Yeah, their OT3 nickname is Museum Heist because it's Rob Wall Art.
Oh, that's... Wow,
Yeah.
people have a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah. No, the Young Justice one, I think there's a name for everybody. I know that Zatanna and Artemis, I think it's the two, is Snablo? Zatanna, for those of you who don't know, in DC, she does her spells by saying the words backwards, and it's just lesbians backwards. So
Nice.
So
we have OTP, OT3, and then CP3. Chris Paul. Yep, point guard for the
C3PO from Star Wars. Outside POV.
What, is this like third person omniscient?
It's like
Outsider's point of view? I mean,
yeah,
that's what
they're
I'm getting
watching.
from it.
So it's like Puffs. Have you seen the play Puffs? Mm-hmm. I think that'd be an outside POV.
Okay, so like,
Puffs is basically Harry Potter from the Hufflepuff perspective.
that was workshopped at the University of Florida.
It was.
I was there. I saw when
I did not see it.
I wish.
It was
pretty good.
Yeah. But I think it was one of the first places that ever showed. It's on Broadway now, though. Yeah.
Is it on Broadway? I thought it was off Broadway.
Off Broadway. I thought it was on Broadway. But
Get your roads straight.
Oh, man. Pairing.
Just putting two people together.
Typically, they'll have like a pair name. Post-canon.
Things that happen after the story ends.
Yep. Pre-slash.
Pre-slash. I'm not sure.
In your defense, we haven't gotten to slash yet. But a pre-slash is writing a story before 2 characters get homosexually romantically involved. Pre-slash.
2 characters get involved normally, or two...
Any of them.
Okay.
It has not happened yet, but there's a potential. You know it's going to happen.
It's happening.
Profic.
Is that like professionally written?
Yeah. So apparently there are a lot of writers that write fanfic, that write regular
You have the big
books.
name fans.
Yeah. So I would say, what's her name? E.L. James.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
50 Shades of Grey.
Yeah, 50 Shades of Grey, yeah. PWP.
Painting without a permit.
You really had to stretch to get that.
I can't think of anything.
Plot? What plot? And it's just a mishmash of ideas.
Okay.
Rare pair.
Pairing you won't normally find between 2 characters.
That's it. Remix.
Remix? What is that? Just that they're changing the continuity?
A story written by a second author that is often a total rewriting of a first author story.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I remixed this fan fiction to my own fan fiction.
Yep.
Cool.
I wrote fan fiction about this fan fiction.
Nice.
Retcon.
Retroactive continuity, going back and changing things you don't like.
Yeah. RPF or RPS.
I'm not sure.
Real person fiction. That'd be the tag. So you would search RPF, boom.
Taking it right where you need to be.
Yeah, RPS is real person slash.
Oh, so that's a little more specific.
A little more, sexual. RPG.
Role-playing game.
Yeah, so you're right. I think that's an interesting concept. Writing a fanfic about an RPG.
Like Skyrim. I guess I got a lot of fan fiction.
I would say like that, or apparently there's a lot of Dungeons and Dragons fanfic.
Well, I feel like that's all. You're just your OC. You have your own character that you create. And...
So it all already kind of feels like fanfic.
You ever played Dungeons and Dragons?
Never.
We should play it, man.
I'm a nerd.
We should play
I've
it.
never played it, but do you have all the stuff for it?
I don't have all the stuff
We could go to Barnes & Noble right now and get it if we wanted to.
We got to meet up. We got to meet some people. And
we can't just play with two. Oh, no, you have a Dungeon Master.
have to have a Dungeon Master. You'd be a great Dungeon Master.
Oh, Lord.
I'm just saying.
Would I?
Yeah, I think you would.
Oh, well. We'll see. If I ever do it, obviously I'd have to have someone do it for me first.
Mm-hmm.
Round
You'd have
robin.
to have someone show you for your first time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Walk you through it.
Exactly. Round robin.
That's like a thing in a tournament, right?
You pass off the story to other authors.
Oh.
So you write a bit, you pass it off.
Oh, that's kind of fun.
RST.
Boo. I'm not sure.
Resolved sexual tension.
Okay.
Shipper.
I'm someone who puts two people together. I'm a shipper.
Yes. Schmoop.
Schmoop?
Schmoop.
Is that something to do with, like, that sounds like Dr. Seussical.
Refers to stories which contain scenes of especially loving, sappy, romantic fluff, such as PDAs.
Aw, schmoop. It's just the noise you make when you hear
Oh, schmoop.
Oh, schmoop.
Slash.
Slash. That's what it's like the sexual, like this person slash.
Refers to the presence of a homosexual relationship featuring at least one canon character.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a slash.
Okay.
That's why there's a fem slash for the FF.
And then non-slash, if you don't add that
Yeah.
prefix onto it, yeah.
Slow burn.
It's something that has a really slow plotting pace. It's probably a ton of words.
Yeah, typically it's romantic too.
Okay.
Smoff. SMOF.
This sounds like something like cuddly and cute. And
No. Secret Masters of Fandom refers to the fans behind the scenes who are organizing your fandom, both through online community meeting places like archives or in person ones like fan-run conventions.
So these are people who are fans but ultimately impact the actual product?
Yeah. Or kind of have a say over the community online. So if you run like a really popular fan blog,
They're
you'd
like
be a
mods.
Smoff.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of like a mod.
Mods of the fan community.
Songfic. I thought this was pretty interesting.
It's written in the form of a song. Someone writes an original song.
It's a fic inspired by music, often by the lyrics.
Okay.
Yeah. Squick. This is the squick thing I got on a cruise ship.
Oh, yes. I would love to hear.
Refers to possibly offensive elements, such as bestiality, abuse, rape, torture, slavery, suicide, etc., of a story which may cause feelings of unease or revulsion in a reader, most likely derived from the combinations of the word squeamish and the slang term icky. So it's a squick.
So you would put squick before you put some of the more
or if
unsavory tags.
If something is a squick, you would tag it before someone read it.
Okay.
Yeah. Standalone.
Doesn't need any introduction.
No. Yeah, and it's its own thing. It's not it's in a world, but it's its own thing. Steampunk in a world.
Steampunk? Isn't that like if someone envisioned a future where we have the level of technology we're at, but it's all powered by steam? And
Yeah,
we have,
like Wild West set.
People have like monocles and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, top hats.
Yeah. Stream of consciousness.
That's a literary style. You just kind of have no form or function. It just goes as the mind goes, the writing.
But you're writing it through the perspective of a specific character. Yeah.
Okay.
Was
that Gertrude Stein, the great stream of consciousness writer? I believe that's who it was.
Subtext.
Read between the lines, my man.
Yeah. Subtextual elements of the story. TLDR.
Too long, didn't read. It's a summary. We read it.
Yeah.
I read it, you
read
it. Yeah, we know.
Trigger warning.
Trigger warning. That's what we've been talking about.
Squick.
Yeah, essentially. Yeah.
There's a squick. I'm going to warn you about it. UST.
United States Transport.
Unresolved sexual tension.
Oh.
Yeah. VS.
Versus.
Virtual season. So
it's virtual season, son.
It's virtual, yeah.
SZN.
Virtual is in. All those old clothes are out. Okay, that was bad. So if you really like Walking Dead and the season just ended and you want more, you'd write a VS for everybody else to read.
You'd write like a whole season of
and
content.
It can come out episodic as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. That's more like a formatting thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
WAFF.
WAFF.
WAFF. Warm and fuzzy feelings. WAFF. WUMP.
Wumbo. I'm not sure.
Refers to stories in which physical or emotional pain is heaped on a favorite character, often repeatedly and brutally. World building.
Like J.R.R. Tolkien, you're really focused on getting into the nitty-gritty of the world and the universe.
Expanding.
Okay.
Word of God.
What you say is the final Well, I don't know.
It's typically how they refer to canon.
Ah.
So that's the word of God.
Okay.
So Joss Whedon, he's the word of God for Buffy. Xeno, it's the last one.
Xenophobic? Is that like an outside character comes in?
Refers to characters or pairing in which someone is decidedly non-human, be they alien or supernatural creature.
Xeno.
I'm a Xeno.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow, I learned a lot.
Yeah, I know that was a little long, but I think it was good because now when we're scrolling through our archive of our own, all our listeners who have been embarrassed, afraid, hesitant to read fan fiction now know a little bit more. Yeah. So with that said and done, I think you want to start on the story?
Yes. I would actually... So this is... this story, again, is called Land of Opportunity. And I would... Before we talk about the fandom that it represents, I just want to read the epilogue.
Okay.
Can we read the epilogue?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it.
October 6th, 1845. James K. Polk groaned to himself as he pored over another report on the Oregon Territory. He was only 6 months into his presidency, and already his own party had betrayed him on this. 5440 or fight was chanted in town halls from Bangor to Savannah. If he couldn't break the negotiations in his favor, war with Britain seemed practically inevitable. All the more reason to make sure this is a success. His ace in the hole might be on the way. The ship was due in at noon, and it was already 11. If the visit went well, his presidency could gain the foreign support it needed to soar to unfathomable heights. If it went poorly, he shuddered to think of the costs of another war with the United Kingdom. They would be steep. James glanced back at the cover of the Evening Post. The newspaper had been crazy about the visit. Aside from the obvious reasons, it was the first foreign visit that President Polk had hosted, and most people could understand the implications. He discarded the report and glanced over the next one. Mexico was upset about the Texas annexation. They'd just have to wait. James knew that the British and the hawks that had put him in the Oval Office posed a much greater threat to his country. His aide entered the room before he could pick up his pen. "Mr. President, the ship has entered the Potomac. She'll be in harbor by 11:30. Ready the carriage. I'll meet them at the docks." The fate of two nations hung in the balance. How do you feel so far?
I like it. I mean, it sounds a lot like narrative nonfiction. I love narrative nonfiction.
Right.
I have a feeling this isn't going to be totally historically accurate.
No, but I'd say it's in this.
It's based in history.
It's rooted.
Yeah.
It's very rooted.
Yeah. But as far as that sort of stuff goes, I think that narrative nonfiction is pretty effective. Makes people get interested into history. You know what I mean?
Right. I feel you there.
Yeah,
We're
let's
ready
keep
to continue?
going.
All right. Corporal Alan Maggette of the United States Marine Corps stood at attention on the docks. He had been specifically selected by his commanding officers to serve on the honor guard for the foreign delegation. The president wanted it to be perfect, and so it would be. The blue uniforms practically glowed in the sunlight, as crisp as the formation of the men wearing them. Corporal Maggette gripped the bottom of his Springfield Model 1842. His palms were sweating with anticipation. Everyone was anxious to see the ship land. The presidential carriage had arrived 10 minutes ago, and President Polk leaned against it, nervously watching the ships come in. The gangplank lowered, and the ship's passengers began to disembark. First, with the plethora of diplomats scurrying like squirrels across the docks into arranged transportation to the embassy, the closer advisors unloaded next, strolling across the quay to the waiting buggies. Finally, the royal family itself disembarked, free after their 2-week-long voyage. The Marines snapped their muskets to their shoulders and saluted. Corporal Maggette looked on in awe. The young queen looked absolutely radiant in a white and blue dress. Corporal Maggette made a conscious effort to not stare as the president approached the royal family. James wiped his brow a few times. He needed a good impression now. The royal family disembarked from the ship, and he drew a breath. Now or never. He walked down the dock to the family and faced the young queen. "Welcome to America, Queen Elsa."
I swear to God, if this is Frozen fanfic.
Welcome to the Frozen fanfic, Land of Opportunity.
I don't think I've ever wanted to die more than in this moment. Why?
Because you don't like Frozen.
No,
But
I
you
hate
like
Frozen.
you like history. I found a historical fiction with the characters from Frozen. Just for you, buddy.
I hate you so much.
We're turning it around. We're turning it all around. You're gonna have this is a well-written story. What? Okay,
It is well written. I was gonna say I can tell the author put a lot of care into writing this, especially about the soldier,
Corporal Maggette,
who I assume is going to fall in love with her.
That's a pretty. I mean, that I would throw all your assumptions out the window.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What is Frozen?
It's an awful movie that came out
Objectively,
6 years ago.
what is Frozen?
Objectively, it's an awful movie that came out 6 years
What is the plot
ago.
of Frozen?
It's a ripoff of Hans Christian Andersen's Snow Queen.
It's a reimagining. Yeah, continue.
It's nothing like the original, but they took some of the elements of it.
If anything, it's a ripoff of X-Men with Iceman. But keep going.
I equally dislike Iceman, so not a very good story either. And it's about two sisters, one of whom is an ice queen who has ice powers.
Correct.
The younger one always wants to build a snowman. No one will do it with her. They have...
she grows up isolated from her sister. She just wants someone to play with.
Yes.
But her sister she has this awesome ice power that when they were kids, she accidentally harmed her sister, Anna. So they had to be separated.
Yes.
Okay, what's so hard about that?
No, nothing.
Okay.
There's a snowman named Olaf.
Correct.
Josh Gad voiced Olaf. For some reason, there are trolls in the movie.
Yes, there are. Grand Pabby is their leader.
I don't remember the male characters. Kristoff. With the moose.
Sven.
And then...
Sven is not in the story, nor is Olaf.
I was really hoping Olaf was at least.
I kept reading. I really wish he popped up, but he's not.
I guess he'd melt. And then...
Well, that's not true. Elsa puts a never-ending snow flurry above his head so he can go wherever he wants. But this is, again, rooted in reality. This is a rooted in reality tale.
Of course it is. Does she have ice powers in this?
Come on, it's a Frozen fanfic. Come on. That's not the point of this story. Okay, continue. So
oh my god.
So
and
in the story,
Anna marries an evil prince, or is about to.
Hans. So there's this subversion of the, princess and prince.
The Disney trope.
Yes.
Because obviously it can't be typical nowadays.
Can't be typical.
No.
The act of true love at the end is the love between sisters. They grow to love each other, and Hans is he's like a usurper. He wants the throne for himself, and they defeat him.
You really disappointed me on this one.
Well, I think you're gonna like it. I think you're gonna like it.
All right.
So what don't you like? Well, just in a couple sentences, what don't you like about Frozen? And we'll get back into it.
So this is going to be one of the most contentious opinions I could ever give. I'm going to be honest with you, or maybe it'll just seem that way. I grew up in Orlando.
Yeah.
When you grow up in Orlando, going to Disney World effectively means nothing. Quite honestly, it means nothing.
Yep.
Like, I think at one point I was going 5 times a year, and I was going way less than my friends. So I was always near Disney World, and I just never cared about Disney.
That Floridian discount, that's what makes it easy to go.
That, and in high school, my school's chorus, did Candlelight, where they go there and sing Christmas songs.
Okay.
And they all get like 6 free tickets. And most of them already have passes anyway, so they just sell them cheap. And I just don't care that much about Disney. I don't understand people who are Disney freaks. Like, I like Disney.
Did you like it as a kid? Did you have any Disney cartoons you liked as a kid?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
But the people that now are like I know people that have college degrees and work at Disney getting paid minimum wage, which is almost nothing in Florida, just because they like Disney. And that's just crazy to me. Like, I don't get it.
Do you think it should be grown out of and looked back on
No,
fondly?
not at all.
Put it away in a shoebox.
No. People say it about comic books. I'm not like that. I don't relate to the stories, I guess. I don't know. I've never been one for the whole princess thing.
Okay.
That didn't become that stopped being my problem in 1776. So I don't care about princes and princesses anymore. I don't care about king and queens. I'm dead serious. So, like,
presidents and first ladies for you only.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, I like Aladdin. I like Peter Pan. I like.
You've never seen Hercules,
Lion King.
right?
I've seen Hercules.
Okay,
I love Hercules.
Who hasn't seen Hercules? That's a crime.
No, I love Hercules. But they're just retellings of other stories.
Yeah. But Buck, well, now they're retelling the same story with all these remakes.
The Lion King one is shot for shot, and all the Disney fans I know were like, "This is the greatest thing ever." No, it's not. The only good thing about that is Donald Glover.
That is true. That is true.
And they didn't even pick Nathan Lane to be Timon.
Keegan-Michael Key.
Yes. They didn't even
Who's
pick...
Billy Eichner, I think he's Timon?
He's playing Timon and not Nathan Lane. Nathan Lane's perfect.
He's perfect in almost everything he does.
Anything he does, it becomes perfect.
You ever seen Birdcage? Robin Williams,
yes.
Nathan Lane? He's a phenomenal now.
Exactly.
Phenomenal.
He's a great actor. There's no reason he shouldn't be Timon. And instead, they chose Billy Eichner.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
I have nothing against Billy Eichner, but...
Billy Eichner, if you're listening, thank you for funding this podcast.
Thank you, and Ryan Reynolds. It's your passion project.
Our angel investors.
Yes. So when it comes to Frozen...
Yeah, what about Frozen specifically?
It doesn't... Okay, first off, I hate the animation style. I hate the new Disney animation style. Okay. I'm very upset they stopped using the old one.
Just like hand-drawn, two-dimensional.
I think Disney had a style. And Lion King wasn't all hand-drawn. A lot of that was computer rendered. But Disney had a trademark style. And for me, that's something that I actually liked about Disney. I like having a house style. They totally got rid of that.
Well, you got to update the times. You got to have the same style forever. It's going to be too flat.
Think so. I
can't
disagree.
Have 50 movies in the same style.
I think you could put a DreamWorks movie out like Brave, or not DreamWorks. I'm sorry, Pixar. That's Pixar, right?
Yeah.
You put a Pixar movie out like Brave. Do something different, please. But the moment you change permanently your art style, it's not the same thing anymore. I don't think so.
I don't know. You got to keep up with the newest technology. That's why people, you got to be on the edge.
Old art style, but new. That's what they did with Lion King.
Well, you get limited after a while, and you start implementing these 3D things, and then
I don't
all of a
think
sudden,
so.
Well, also Pixar is making all the money, so you just got to ride that gravy train right
true.
to shore.
And now the live action ones are because they ran out.
That's right.
And then Frozen just came out. I thought it was pretty unimaginative. I don't know why it blew up.
I liked it. I saw it once in theaters. I'm not a super fan or anything, but I liked it.
I thought the songs were super annoying.
I thought they were catchy. I went in thinking it was going to suck, that it was for children, and it was for children. But I was also genuinely surprised with the
I have nothing
craftsmanship.
against watching children's movies as an adult.
I almost exclusively watch children's movies.
At this point, me too. Almost all the movies I own are animated movies. Not a lie, and they're not anime. I don't like anime. Hashtag unpopular opinion.
Wow, you really the listener numbers just plummeting.
I'm going into it right now. Everyone's like, I liked Alex, but I think I like Ryan more now.
I'm the people's podcaster. That's right.
That's fine. I'll be the tough guy. I'll be the Bill Maher. I'll be the Bill Maher. Listen, comic book fans, you're losers.
Okay, so you don't like Frozen.
I don't like Frozen. I don't dislike Disney. I just don't get it. And that's fine if you get it. You might not get comic books. That's fine. We have our own taste. I like sports. I don't get basketball.
I like sports, and we don't care who knows.
Exactly. We like sports, and we don't care who knows. Yeah. Thank you, Lonely Island, for sponsoring this podcast.
They didn't really put too much into it, so screw them.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But the one about being sexy guys or whatever, that one's good. I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
I'll show it to you later.
Without, let's stay on track. Okay, what drew me in was so before all this, they put a little blurb, what they summarized the story as.
The tags?
There were no tags. Also, I had to sift through just a lot of, what was it, fluff. There was so much fluff. It's just Anna and Elsa being pals, being friends.
There wasn't a lot of femme/.
There's so much.
Why do they want incestual femme/?
So much.
I don't understand the incest.
Yeah. Well.
We're biologically programmed as people to not like incest, by the way. Just saying.
Or insects. I'm against both of those.
Too, my friend.
Okay. So the summary was, this story was meant to be an examination of the actual political situation in Arendelle. Arendelle is where they live. That's their kingdom.
Oh, my God.
It assumes that the events of the film, now known as the Winter Crisis,
okay,
happened around June of 1845. It also places Arendelle, the Southern Isles, the neighboring town, nation, and Wesselton on the actual map as Norway, Denmark, and Sweden, respectively. Okay. So they're putting them in the real world, they're putting time to it, and they're going to put political weight. Like, what would happen if this actually happened in 1845?
Okay.
That's what they're doing.
Have you ever heard the fan theory that Anna and Elsa's parents
are Tarzan's parents?
Yeah.
I have.
I like it.
Maybe that's gonna be a follow up to this. Maybe if we remix this story, we could
remix it.
Bring Tarzan into the fold.
Yes.
I think. Okay, I'm excited.
I'm going to do a dubcon though.
What? Explain what? I forgot what that was again.
Dubious consent. It's going to be him and one of the gorillas.
No, not Turk. No.
Rosie O'Donnell's character looking back, like, I understand what you're doing, but
yeah. All right. So then we then cut to, after our introduction, James Polk has met Elsa from Frozen. They are riding a train through the American countryside, and Kristoff is gazing out the window. He thinks of how comfortable he feels in the royal court and how nice it is in America that there are no kings or queens, there's only the common people. He really feels connected to this land.
He almost sees it as a land of opportunity.
Almost.
Okay.
But he comes just short of saying it. Quote, no matter what Anna assured him, he had always felt out of place in the royal court amongst the rich and privileged, but this land was different. This was a land where a man's merit, not his birth, would determine his worth in life. No nobility, no kings or queens. Never explored again, but a really nice, strong
it really is.
passage. So he then ponders the past months in Arendelle, so we get a little look-see. Everything had changed since the Winterkreis. The Wesselton trade was supposed to be easy to replace. It hadn't been. The destruction of Arendelle's economy abroad had been coupled with the destruction of their domestic agriculture from the flash freeze. People were starving in the streets of the capital. Elsa had been forced to beg for food at exorbitant prices from her neighbors. Internally, the kingdom had schismed after the fall. A large amount of the populace, especially in the mountains, still saw Elsa as responsible for the freeze and viewed Hans, the bad guy, as their savior.
Okay, so I'm just trying to get this straight. So Elsa is officially queen.
She is. She gets the coronation at the beginning of the movie, Frozen.
Okay.
And then during the coronation, something goes down and she shoots ice out of her hands and everyone freaks out. This is the plot of Frozen. She runs
goes
away
off to the mountains
and causes this huge, in the middle of summer, she causes this huge ice storm.
Got it.
So that's why, how would that affect the local economy? Agriculture.
Got it.
Not explored in the movie, but explored in this fan fiction.
I got you. Okay. And so they go to the U.S.
They're just trying
to... They need food. They need an ally.
Exactly.
Polk needs an ally in case Britain attacks.
Correct, because he's in the middle of trying to get the Oregon Territory, the Northwest.
Okay. I mean, that's historically a pretty contentious piece of land. Okay.
I know, isn't it cool?
Okay.
Hey man, you said you liked when history is woven into things. You said you liked that.
I did say that.
Okay. The Southern Isles refused to give up Hans, the bad guy. So Hans is from the Southern Isles. He fled there after the events of the movie. They refused to give him up to, bring him back for court. Elsa had been pleased with what she thought were improving relations until the Southern Isles severed diplomatic contact. After that, whatever popular support she had withered away in the face of the Pope's excommunication for witchcraft and the Wesselton armies massing in the mountain passes. So, I mean, if this is 1845 and there's a witch as a queen, the Pope's going to take action, right?
I'm pretty sure they were not Catholic at that point.
Who's that?
What are they, Denmark? Norway?
They're Arendelle.
Okay. Is there any...
Can you excommunicate non-Catholics? I'm pretty sure the Pope was just like, hey...
I don't think it matters.
All Catholics, we're against this.
Yeah, I guess.
We're a new crusade to Arendelle. I
want to hear that one.
That's what's happening right now. This is the beginning stages of that. This is
a crusade.
Well, I mean, if the Pope says there's witches who are running this country, we got to take them out.
Oh, my God.
So she really needs this, and so does James Polk.
Okay.
Externally, she hadn't fared much better. The French, British, Prussians, and Austrians were all content to let the region sort itself out in a storm of blood and ice. So, that's kind of setting the stage. Next scene, we cut to a man named James Rothscotter. He enters this bar called the President's Arms. It's kind of like a Green Dragon Tavern, kind of like a bunch of revolutionaries are there, He actually is the leader of a group of revolutionary idealists, common soldiers of fortune, and Arendellian expatriates. They call themselves the Brotherhood of the Crocus, and they have one goal, the toppling of the monarchy in Arendelle, the removal of the house at Arendelle from power, and the establishment of a republic, or where the kingdom was. So we have this group. Rothschild, it's revealed that he is a revolutionary idealist because his whole family has been. His grandfather was a Minuteman in Massachusetts and had faced the British at Lexington and Concord. His father had grown up with stories of liberty and left to fight in 1808, the fight with Napoleon in France. So now he says, quote, ready to cement his name in the annals of Rothschild history, and he had chosen for his target the most obvious symbol of autocratic monarchical power in Europe. I'm going to mispronounce a ton of words.
No, I was right.
The archaic kingdom of Arendelle. Originally intended to usurp the throne prior to Elsa's coronation from the movie, but they missed their ship. That happens a lot in history. It's like, I'm going to take this guy down. They slept in, and they missed the ship. So
one bad hurricane and everybody's dead. I'm just going to say right away.
Yeah.
Automatically rooting for this dude. I'm right there.
Okay.
Liberty, Republic, freedom. Get this witch out.
He's ready to take him out. So his band is made up of Yorn, a burly...
Wait. Is this a bandum?
No. This is his revolutionary group. Yorn, a burly Arendellian. Alexander, a Russian mercenary.
Hey.
Edward, a bitter, elderly Welsh Republican. And a suave Spaniard named Alonso.
This sounds like a DreamWorks movie right there.
I know.
Have you ever seen Road to El Dorado?
Oh, yeah. Of course.
I feel like it's that.
Okay, and the final, the section ends, but this is the beginning of their meeting. He says, gentlemen, we are going to assassinate the Queen of Arendelle. So this plot has been set.
It's almost like the Black Hand, which is the coolest name of an actual organization ever.
Take out Duke Ferdinand.
Yes,
absolutely.
Okay, so they're like the Black Hand, basically. Got it.
Exactly. So then we cut back. We learn that Elsa is continuing to have night terrors related to the events of the movie's climax. That's just something she's still grappling with. It's not a big part of this story. I cut it out because there's a lot in here, but it's part of her relationship with Anna.
Okay, here's a real question. Is it weird that people take like kid sayings like this and then make them so realistic? Is that weird?
Is that weird?
Do you think that's weird?
I that's what attracted me to this story.
Okay.
I really enjoy that because I think when you're making like a kid's story, you create these characters that are pretty plain, like good or bad, or you might make them a little complex, but they're pretty much caricatures of real people. So then you put them in this real world, and either you change them or you force them to make these kind of gray decisions. Does that make any sense?
But is that the same character, the same children-friendly character at that point?
Well, I think it's interesting to see how they react, how they live in the real world.
Okay.
How, like, what we're teaching our children, like, oh, isn't this nice? This is kind of the ideal character.
Yeah.
How they actually exist.
Okay. You say so.
But this is also just, I just think it's cool.
Okay. Yeah, no. I'm into it so far.
Okay, so Anna and Christoph depart for Baltimore. They're just going on like a visit, dignitary kind of thing. And Elsa is summoned to meet President Polk. Quote.
Wait, didn't he meet her at the boat?
He met her at the dock, but this is now time for actual negotiations.
Okay.
They're sitting
Real
down.
talks. Real talk.
So, quote, she composed herself quickly and walked to the president's office, repeating the words her father had taught her so long ago. Conceal, don't feel.
Is that a quote from the movie?
Conceal, don't feel. Just let it go. Let it go. That's a lyric from Let It Go. It's amazing. It's amazing how that's woven in. Okay. This author is incredible. Okay. So now we go to chapter 2. Anna and Christoph are enjoying...
How many chapters are there?
There's 6.
Okay.
Chapter,
not bad.
Not bad. Chapter 2. Anna and Christoph are enjoying dinner in Baltimore. Christoph goes off to the bathroom. Quote, hello. A rough voice snapped her out of a daydream. A man had sat down across the table from her. His hood obscured his face, but she could tell he had a scraggly, untrimmed auburn beard. This was too close. She gripped her dinner knife under the table. I couldn't help but notice. You're the Princess of Arendelle, aren't you? She immediately felt silly. This man wasn't a threat. She smiled bashfully. Perhaps. I thought so. I'm quite the admirer of you and your family. I just wanted to know if you knew where you were going during your time in this country. I'd like to see the public appearance. Something about the man's raspy voice threw her. He wasn't American, that was for sure. He didn't quite have the accent, but she couldn't place where he was from. He certainly sounded sincere, though. She slid a piece of paper across the table. This is the official schedule. Don't share it. Thank you, Your Grace. I am in your debt. With a quick nod, he was gone. That was a little odd, she thought. He had seemed nice, though. and she had been so looking forward to someone finally recognizing her, but she couldn't shake the feeling that she had heard this man before.
Okay, 2 questions.
I have 2 answers.
Canonically, do they speak English?
That's actually addressed later. I think they speak English in, like, canon, but in this, there's... in the next meeting, they sit down, and James K. Polk apologizes for his poor Arendellian.
So they're bilingual.
In this universe, yeah, they have some sort of Norse language, and also they're speaking English.
So she was talking to this guy in English.
Right.
Got it.
Mm-hmm. He approached her and spoke in English.
Yes. Second question. Who's ruling the kingdom in their absence? Is it Olaf?
It has to be. It has to be.
The whole royal family's gone. So who's in charge?
Well, there's mayhem in the streets, so does it really matter? They just have the
so.
guards holding the gates.
You have to have some semblance of structure.
What if they come back and Olaf is righted the ship? There's got to be a huge power struggle, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I mean, it's a question.
Olaf isn't even name checked in this story.
That's sad.
There's 7,500 words. Olaf is not one of them.
Because if you think about it, takes 2 weeks, they said, for the trip?
Yeah.
That's at least a month travel time alone.
Yes.
A lot can go down in a month.
It says it was about
and
2
how do
weeks
they
in
get
America.
word? Two weeks for like a letter? I don't know.
This is a last ditch diplomatic visit.
Okay.
They really have no other choice.
I got you.
Okay, so after Anna leaves, we get a scene from the mysterious man's point of view. He reads the list. There's a name of cities. He skips down at Baltimore, party in Georgetown, meeting with Virginia Farmers Association, and then we get to the October 10th grand opening of the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis.
This is like oddly specific.
This probably happened on that exact day, October 10th, 1845. He notes that the president and the cabinet had been given to show up, but it looked like the Snow Queen and her entourage would be attending as well. The man knew the land around Fort Severn very well. No matter how many Marines James K. Polk decided to place, they'd be in the open, and the streets of Annapolis were perfect for hiding a lone gunman. The man ran a hand through his beard. It had been a long 3 months, but he was so tired. He got up and left the bar before the princess's husband returned. Rothschotter would pay well for this information, and almost certainly act on it. The debt would be repaid.
Is that the end of chapter 2?
That is the end of that section.
Okay.
So he gets up and leaves.
So she marries Christoph.
Yeah, she's married to Christoph. Yeah,
Okay.
sorry if that
Does
wasn't
it happen
clear.
at the end of the movie?
I don't know.
Does he have a thing for her in the movie?
Yeah, they're together.
But I thought she was going to marry Hans.
She's supposed to marry Hans, and then the whole movie, Christoph's like, what do you see in this guy?
Ah.
And then she's like, I don't know. I met him at a dinner party.
Okay.
And then they fall for each other.
I got you.
Because they have a real experience.
Okay.
So now we have...
With trolls.
Yeah, with trolls. I mean, he's a bit of a fixer-upper, but...
Okay.
That's a song as well. Okay, so Elsa's got a meeting with James Polk. He compliments her English, and then he says, quote, now I think our first and foremost issue is the food situation. We don't have a full-time ambassador yet, but my men are telling me that there are riots over food in the heart of your capital. The Queen frowned. I assure you, President Polk, your men are wrong. The situation is bad, but not untenable. James sighed. If these talks are to bear fruit, Queen Elsa, we must be fully honest here. Now, I am prepared to send you back to Arendelle with a flotilla. What's a flotilla?
I guess just
of grain ships. Is that like a unit of measurement for ships?
I think less than armada, group of ships, flotilla
of grain ships.
Is that a floating tortilla?
I hope so. It's grain ships. So essentially, it is.
Could be.
Yeah,
flotilla.
He's got another situation. Elsa confesses that they're at a breaking point. He says, "Okay, we'll just send you back 10 ships of grain and bread."
Wow.
After this, we'll determine a fair, discounted price for you to purchase further food and supplies until you recover from this. And she cuts in Winterkreis. It's a very sensitive subject. He talks about the military capacities of the kingdom and how they are woefully underprepared for any sort of conflict. Mm-hmm. He says, I'd like to sell to you, at a heavy discount, of course, 500 crates of Springfield muskets. There'd be a surplus of Model 1812s, and there'll be enough to bring your army into the 19th century. I'd also like to send an expeditionary force of 500 U.S. Marines to be used at your disposal. She says, wow, it seems like you're getting the short end of the stick. What do you want me to do? And then she says, oh, she had caught on. He knew she would. Sharp as a tack, this one. Or perhaps sharp as ice.
Oh, my God.
Well, we'd like to become the primary importer of arendelle goods. Obviously, some trade deals will be cut. She says, that's not it. There's something else you want. He says, yes, we are interlocked with the British in a tight negotiation over the Oregon Territory right now. It would flare up badly. I'd like Arendelle's support in the matter. And then she says, well, what can we do, you know? He says, I want you to put diplomatic pressure on them. Demand the relent. Threaten embargoes. And, of course, there could be a technical, non-military option. It would be tragic if, say, the Thames were to freeze over, especially at the height of shipping. And then Elsa smiles devilishly. President Pokey, you have a deal.
Got him.
Got him.
I knew he was going to ask something like that.
Right. I mean, how has no one seen this? This is an extraordinarily strong ally to have.
Yeah.
You control weather.
Yes. You're stupid if you don't.
You need to team up with
You're
them.
stupid if you don't.
The Americans are all over it.
Of course we are. Mm-hmm. We're tenacious. Of course we do that.
James Polk.
James Polk.
Greatest president ever?
If this were true, yes. Absolutely.
Again, I don't know if this is true or not. That's why I have you here. Is this true?
Most of it so far, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The best part
the
is
Elsa stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's such a good president, he does become what they named the middle school after in Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's his real cultural legacy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's the best thing I can take away from this.
His cultural legacy is Ned's Declassified 1, and then Portlandia. If it wasn't for him, no Portland.
And then 3, Ice Queen.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of course. Okay, Chapter 3. So we cut back to Rothscotter. His men are contentious. It's a band of mercenaries, again, expatriates, so none of them are really gelling. They're kind of just this ragtag band of people who want to take down government or get into big fights. So Edward, who I believe is the Welsh man, he had wanted to set up an immediate ambush in Annapolis, while the mercenaries, the rest of them, had wanted to just remain cautious and tail the entourage. Rothscotter said, I side with Edward, but I can't take his side during this conflict. I just got to calm the troops down. But the time for caution is long gone. If freedom is to come to Arendelle, it would come through decisive action, not through waffling and holding back. But the foremost concern now was keeping the Brotherhood together. So they get into this long, conflict. They're all yelling at each other, and then Edward stands up and reaches for his gun. And the quote is, "A good gunman can draw, aim, and discharge his sidearm without ever breaking gaze with his target. A good mercenary is, of course, a good gunman. Unfortunately for Alexander, Edward was a good gunman."
Whoa.
As the Russian glanced down to grab his gun, the Welshman sprung into action and buried a hidden stiletto in the back of the man's neck. Alexander choked for a second before falling to his knees, hacking up blood, and collapsing to the ground where he lay still. So everyone's like, whoa.
What, a stiletto? Hidden
a
stiletto?
Knife. I totally botched that. A good mercenary is, of course, a good gunman. Unfortunately for Alexander, he was not a good gunman.
Oh.
So he could not pull his gun. Edward got on him and stabbed him.
Okay.
I botched that. That was a literary masterpiece that I completely botched.
I thought he shot a bunch of shots off. I'm like, 1845? That many shots? Wow.
You
a
shoot
stiletto
one,
of shots?
and it just like goes 90 degrees to where you're shooting. That's what the 1800s
It's like he
is all
shoots
about.
one and then really quickly pounds it back, reloads it, puts the...
Whoa, this guy's automatic. He's just standing there.
This guy can shoot 2 bullets a minute?
Okay, so he says, "Get the hell out of here, Edward," and he just kicks him out. Edward is out of the gang. And then Rothscotter turns to the group. He says, "Tomorrow we're going to open the Naval Academy in our own way."
Whoa.
So the ambush is on.
All right.
So now we cut to, how you feeling? The stage is getting set. The next scene is Anna and Elsa arriving in Annapolis.
I feel like that's come a little quick, but okay.
It's coming.
No, yeah, let's do it.
Like I said, 7,500 words, super concise. There was a couple that I was interested in, particularly one where Elsa becomes a vampire and she grows. She throughout the story grows a penis, but it's 200,000 words.
Why does she grow a penis?
So she can be attracted to Anna. I don't know. It was 200,000 words. I skimmed.
Was it blue? Ice penis?
Yeah. They worked blue. They worked very blue in that story. It was rough. But hey, if you want to hear that, write into the show, and
right into the show.
We'll do a solo podcast. I'll just
put it
read
in
the
the
whole
chat.
thing.
DM us.
Put it in the chat. There'll be a lot of tags attached to that one. There's a lot of tags attached to that
We're going to
one.
have a lot of squirks.
A lot of
squicks. A lot of squicks attached to that one.
Squicking and squawking all the way down the road. The carriage came to a halt outside Fort Severin, what would in a few hours' time be the United States Naval Academy. An honor guard of Marines was gathered outside the carriage. Elsa stepped out slowly, her blue dress glittering in the sun. The oversized crowd erupted in cheers. They were there to see the Snow Queen, after all, and Elsa gave an elaborate bow.
So does she not have a problem with heat?
No.
Okay.
She's just like naturally cold all the time.
Okay. So in the movie, the snow is more of a reaction to like her emotions.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't have
Okay.
control over her powers, so when her emotions go kind of whack,
Okay.
it's like an extension of her.
Okay.
It kind of
Wait. So how is she gonna freeze over the Thames?
the Thames.
Thames.
Well, she can control it now. Well, she finds that love is the way to control her power.
Love. Okay. Just like in Star Wars 8.
Star Wars 8, Episode 8. Usually
Episode
put
8.
episode, which is Star Wars 8.
It's the same thing.
Dude, Star Wars 3 was sick.
Star Wars 3 is good.
Star Wars, the third episode, Revenge of the Sith.
Are you talking about the 6th episode?
Oh, right. Okay. All right. Enough of that. Okay, so, oh man, I lost my place. Okay, so Anna slips out of the carriage. Her sister was being very charismatic. After the Winter Crisis, her personality had practically formed a cult around her in Arendelle. Some said it was the only thing saving the monarchy from certain destruction at the hands of these circling Republicans.
Well, sorry to cut you off, but 1845 is a pretty tumultuous time if you're a monarch.
Yeah.
I mean, European monarchs are fallen.
I mean, but what else would give a monarch more authority than some sort of like mythical power?
Supernatural powers.
So she gets a cult, and now the
Yeah.
Republicans are pushed to this fringe of this
course,
society.
yeah.
But that's not the case with all the other countries.
No.
That's why there's a weird power dynamic.
I mean, it's interesting.
Frozen is interesting to you,
No.
but it's all still there. We're just recontextualizing Frozen in a way that you enjoy.
Okay.
Okay, so Kristoff walks up to her. They have a discussion. She's like, yeah, I feel happy. Anna says, I feel happy for her. They don't know what's going to happen. The final quote is, the royal family smiled, and in the crowd, the unknown man smiled back. The debt would be repaid.
Ooh.
James K. Polk, he's also feeling really good about himself. They had these very progressive talks. Everyone's out. They love Queen Elsa. They love what he's doing. He feels really confident. He could practically see the maps being redrawn to fit Oregon into the United States. It was only a given now that Britain would concede, especially with Polk's lightened demands.
And I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how much Polk actually did care about the Oregon Territory. It was a big deal, for sure. Very hotly contested.
A lot
I
of
don't think
beavers
he-
up there, a lot of fur.
Yeah, I don't think he sat up at night, though. Well, it was actually the passage to the Pacific. We didn't
Okay.
have California at that point. So Oregon Territory was pretty important. California was its own country.
It's just like in Settlers of Catan when you have to get
You have to get to the harbor.
Got to get some coast, some coast.
When I
real estate.
have sheep falling out of my butt and I have no way to get rid of them except for the sheep port,
that, or just a 3 randoms to 1.
even that's better.
It's huge.
Yeah. But randoms are the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Forget
that's
that.
true.
Yeah.
That's true. So we cut to Corporal Maggette. He's standing down the street, just very proud, controlling foot traffic. He feels something's amiss, something's wrong. He sees a cloaked stranger. He blocks the man. He says, wait a minute here, sir. The man looks at him and says, I need to cross. He says, you can wait your turn like everyone else. The man tries to push past him. Corporal Maggette was getting irritated. He shoves the ruffian back into the crowd with his musket, only to have him bounce back and crash into him. Quote, he could feel the blood before anything else. The man had been holding a stiletto.
Whoa.
And the man had hit him in the neck. Sorry, old chap, but freedom waits for no man.
I for some reason I picture that with a stiletto heel.
Yeah.
Like-
This is like a very like Kill Bill kind of
Yeah.
like Ocean's 8. Like I got a stiletto in my stiletto. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Quote, the last thing Alan Maggette saw was Jack Rothscutter beginning to cross the street.
Ooh.
He's entered the game. Chapter 4. All our players are in the same place. Quote, as soon as Polk glanced back at the street, he could see there was something wrong. No one was supposed to be on the street now. Where was the guard? The cloaked man was walking down the street towards them. President Polk grabbed the Marine next to him and pointed. Crack! 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 Alonso Gallagher, that's the Spaniard,
Okay.
cradled the Colt repeating carbine to his cheek. He had obtained the weapon at great personal cost to himself, and he loved using it. Perched in a second-story window of a nearby warehouse, he watched the guard closest to the president fall, and the whole street fell into chaos.
Whoa.
So he takes a shot at Polk, but hits the Marine. Marine takes the bullet.
Wow.
So the crowd, which was once so happy, is now dispersed, screaming. It's chaos. The Marines are confused. They don't know where the shots are coming from. The Queen is exposed, and Alonso has a perfect shot at her, but this is Rothschotter's kill. He would wait. So he has a clean shot at Elsa. He doesn't take him.
That's stupid.
He's not
He
his.
should have done it.
This isn't his revolution. He's a mercenary.
Oh, I guess so. He is Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So the Queen runs behind the carriage. The president is there. She's panicked. She's having flashbacks to the climax of Frozen. It's the Ford. Her people are dying. There's a risk. There's violence happening. She's very stressed. So Polk is sweating. The Marines are trying to control the crowd when suddenly a man with a knife leaps over the carriage.
Ooh.
Bang! Polk instinctively fired his own weapon. So he's got a hidden revolver, and he whips it out. He said, quote, "He was a lawyer, not a soldier, goddammit." A Marine dragged away the wounded assassin as Polk ran through his options. If they stayed, they'd be overpowered. If they ran, they'd be exposed. He only saw one option, and it wasn't good. So what he does is he cuts loose one of the horses. He puts Elsa on it, and he says, go. We just got to separate. Because he doesn't know who the target of the assassination is. We just got to cut it. I think it's so awesome.
That's pretty cool.
That Polk is like...
It's kind of like a Back to the Future 3 sort of feel.
What? The way he like... Well, explain what you're talking about.
I mean, I could see something like that happening in Back to the Future 3. He cuts the horse, like, go,
slaps
go.
it.
Yeah, slaps
like,
it,
runs down the street.
Doc Brown just, Marty! I don't know.
Marty!
I'm sure you're wondering, where's the Secret Service? Is that your first question?
Yeah, sure, I guess. I thought the Marines had it covered, but yeah, where's the Secret Service?
They were not established until President Lincoln.
Oh.
Do you know what they
was
originally...
Polk? When was Polk? What number president is he?
I'm assuming 13.
1845?
10, 11.
Okay.
I think Jackson was 7, and that was 1820s.
Okay.
So probably 10th, 11th.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know why they created the Secret Service?
Is this before Lincoln or after Lincoln?
Lincoln.
During Lincoln?
He created the Secret Service.
Oh, because the Civil War, right? He was afraid people were going to...
No. Counterfeiting money.
So it wasn't for like personal protection?
No. It was to track counterfeited bills. And that's why now, still to this day, you can get in trouble with the Secret Service.
So that's why the Secret Service came up to my house the other day.
Well...
I love a good $2 bill. So I just...
They're reprinting $2 bills.
Yeah?
You can get a 2017 $2 bill.
I might have to look into that.
You should.
But for the meantime, let's go back to Annapolis.
Please do.
And the scene we're at. So now we cut to Edward, the Welshman, who was part of the revolutionary
Murdered
the other guy.
Okay.
He's sitting at a roadside cafe. He hears the commotion. He smiles to himself. He knows all this was going to happen. As everyone scatters, he settles into a corned beef sandwich and fingers the grenade that was in his pocket as he pulls it and places it on the table in front of him. I mean, what is a grenade but just, gunpowder in a concentrated...
They were
it's not
grenades.
like,
Grenades were around.
He didn't, frag out like this is Call of Duty.
No.
Yeah, just a little grenade.
Okay. He'd have to light it.
Right, there's a fuse.
Yeah.
It says he, plays with the fuse.
Yeah,
And laughs
fingers the
maniacally.
fuse.
So he's there kind of as
Fingers it.
fingers it with his digits.
Oh, God. No, not the digits. It's another callback, people. You need to listen to one.
Sick callback.
It was a sick callback. It was a good digit. Nice digit.
Thanks, man. Thank you. Okay, so let me come back to the unknown man. He's slowly following this proceedings. He's mirroring the movements of the assassins. He sees as Elsa gets on the horse. The unknown man watched the Snow Queen tear down the street and strike an assassin down before rounding a corner. So she's taking her. She nails a guy.
Who'd she strike? Do we know the assassin?
Actually, I think I cut it out. It doesn't. It's not. I don't remember exactly. She shoots ice at him, though.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I did cut it out, though, for time's sake. And that little vignette of the unknown man ends with, "The debt would be repaid." ...
Whoa.
So Elsa, and we cut back to Elsa. She emerges into a square. There's no one around. She's like, okay, maybe I found some peace. Patrons at the nearby cafe ducked underneath the table, screaming bloody murder, except for one strange man who appeared to be saluting the queen. As Elsa drove the horse further down the street, something small and round flew into her field of vision and clattered across the cobblestones. Clink, clink.
Ooh.
2 bounces was all it took for Elsa to recognize what it was, but it was already too late. She attempted a last-ditch dive from her horse as the grenade exploded, gutting the animal and throwing her across the cobblestone violently.
So she can't create like an ice wall?
She could, but it took her by surprise.
Okay.
She was just running. All of a sudden, what is this thing coming out of this cafe? It's a grenade.
Does Frozen have like Avatar physics where you need the substance there?
No, she can just shoot ice whenever she wants. That's actually not explored. I would like to see that in the second one. Like Frozone needs some wife. He's
exactly.
dehydrated.
Yeah, I need some water. I'm thirsty.
You would think that, but
Yeah.
That's not the thing. Is she's caught off guard in this situation.
Okay.
So that's what happens. So clink, clink, it explodes. She's fading in and out of consciousness, bleeding from various cuts across her face and body as she sees a man approach. Quote, she watched helplessly as Edward drew his caplock and pointed it at the prone queen's head. Sic semper tyrannis. Crack.
Okay. For those of you who don't know, Sic semper tyrannis is what John Wilkes Booth said when he shot Lincoln. He shot Lincoln, jumped from the second story, the balcony, onto the stage. I believe he broke his leg, broke his foot, hurt it at least, and was screaming "Sic semper tyrannis."
What does that mean? That's Latin, right? What does that mean?
I believe it's like "die you tyrant" or something like that. Sorry, I can't remember that one. I'm rusty in my Latin at the moment. I'm trying to figure out whether I like that. Is that a cool touch, or is it just...
I think it's cool as hell. I thought that was super cool. It makes sense. It just adds to this, like, these are revolutionaries. They believe in their cause.
I mean, the thing is, there was a conspiracy to kill Lincoln. There were a lot of people involved. So it's similar. What?
They dragged his name through mud. That's from National Treasure,
Oh, yeah.
too.
Oh, my God. Yes.
Book of Secrets.
Yes. Great movie. I guess it's cool. It's a cool little historical fact, I guess.
Cool. I'm glad we passed the test. Next section begins. Quote, when a bullet strikes a human in the head, it can be traveling at a speed of up to 3,200 feet per second. It pushes aside skin and tissue and moves at a speed such as to easily smash bone. When it reaches the brain, it moves faster than the tissue can tear, which means it simply pushes the tissue aside before it tears. When the bullet finishes its course, the tunnel it has formed collapses behind it. The area of impact is 10 times the size of a bullet. Death is nearly instantaneous. That is to say, Edward never stood a chance.
Whoa.
As the would-be assassin's body fell to the ground, Marines turned the corner to see one man holding a smoking revolver. The unknown man cast the gun to the ground before raising his hands in the face of the muskets of the guards. 2 Marines grabbed the man. "Who are you?" "Ask the princess. They'll know."
Is it the guy with the plans?
One of the guards pulled off the man's burlap hood, revealing his unkempt, unshaven head of messy auburn hair. 2 other guards helped the queen to her feet as she slowly approached the assassin. She recognized him immediately. It was the man from Baltimore. Oh my God. Prince Hans? Anna was shocked. Prince Hans is back.
Who is he?
Prince Hans was the villain from the first Frozen.
I know. Who is he in this?
He is the mysterious man.
Oh.
With the beard. And he shoots Edward before he gets a chance to take out Elsa.
So that's why she said she felt like she knew who she was.
Exactly.
Or who he was.
And why he has a weird, familiar accent.
Okay. I feel like if she was engaged to him, she'd know him, even with a beard.
She only knew him one night.
Really?
Yeah, but she meets him. You know, remember? Love is an open door. They meet, and then they immediately get engaged.
Oh, okay. All right. Hey, we're living in 1800s. Things are quick.
You gotta move fast.
Right.
What am I gonna be, like 35? I gotta go fast.
Our generation has Netflix and chill.
Yeah.
They have
I got like a life expectancy
ball and bang,
like
I guess.
70 something, right? Ball and bang.
I got a long life ahead of me.
Let's figure this out. I'll be in my 20s for at least 30 years.
Yeah, I'm not gonna die of dysentery. No.
Yeah, I'm good.
Probably not. I don't know.
So obviously the question is, what are you doing here? He says, I came to America when I was disowned. So it comes out that he wasn't annexed. His family was so ashamed of his dubious moves to get the crown that they disowned him. He was bent on revenge, and he joined up with some unfortunate people. After a while, though, he realized he had to let it go. Quote, I have been beaten.
No, don't just braze over let it go like it didn't mean anything. Okay.
I realized I had to let it go. The central thesis of Frozen. God. I owed you all a debt I hoped to repay here. A debt has been paid. That's they've been leading you down a different path the whole time. She says, thank you, Hans. Anna says, thank you. Elsa says, thank you. They say you should come back to Arendelle. He cuts her off. No, it would only open old wounds that need time to heal. And then the president cuts in.
Okay.
If I may say something, I don't know the history between you all as much as I should. But what I do know is that this man deserves a reward for his service. So if you don't want to go back to Arendelle, Mr. Hans, perhaps you would consider staying in America. We could find a place for you in my administration. The ex-prince smiled. Thank you, President Polk. That is most kind of you.
What's his last name?
Hans?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's a good test. I don't know.
I was going to say, please don't say he's like the great-grandfather of like Woodrow Wilson.
No, he's
or
not.
I will just rage. I will be so mad.
No.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry.
Oh, my God.
I think they want him more as like a personal bodyguard.
Okay.
Or like maybe the ambassador to Arendelle since it's a vacant position.
No, I feel like that would cause too many tensions.
That's true. He can't go back there.
If he rolls up, everyone's going to be questioning him.
The president smiled back. The sun had come out and the threat had ended. Well, they do call us the land of opportunity.
That was bad.
That's
I'm just going to say it.
That's not the end.
Okay.
As with my previous story, there's an absolutely banging epilogue to this story.
Good.
Epilogue. Elsa exited the carriage and crossed the street to the American embassy in Arendelle. The gate guard smiled and waved her in as her own diplomats went to meet with their American counterparts. The Queen smiled as she met the secretary in the front. Is the ambassador in? He is, Your Grace. He should be right in his office. Oh, yeah, he turns out to be the ambassador, Ambassador Hans.
Oh, my God.
So this is obviously later. So they hang out. Sorry, I'm like really unfamiliar with this. I was like so blown away by like Sic Semper Tyrannis and everything that I got into it. Both I and the President, this is Hans speaking, have full confidence that Arendelle can recover from these dark days. The President would also like to tell you that your aid in the Oregon boundary dispute was invaluable. The British have signed a treaty establishing the border at the 49th parallel. Better than anyone thought we could get without war. The Ice Queen nodded. Is there something else I can do? America has given us so much help, and I wish there was a better way to repay them. Hans thought about it. Well, there appears to be trouble brewing in the south. The Mexicans have crossed the Rio Grande and attacked Seth Thornton's men. War seems inevitable. Elsa smiled. We'll see what we can do.
Okay.
September 7th, 1847, Mexico City. Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna sat in his candle-lit study poring over the latest reports of American troop movements. The war had been going terribly for the Mexicans, but the old general held out hope. Even after the disaster in Texas, the government had given him control of the army in Ciudad de Mexico, and he intended to defend the city to the last man. He could do it. He had a well-fortified position in the old Spanish palace, and his local strength was about that of the Americans. The shelling had already begun, but the Americans would have to attack soon, and he would be ready. He rubbed his cork leg. He had suffered enough indignities at the hands of the Americans, at their lackeys in Texas. Now he would pay back the loan with interest. As he pondered the situation, an aide rushed in. General Santa Anna, the Americans have stopped the shelling. They are approaching the castle. Santa Anna smiled. Good. We will stand and fight. What is the status of the American soldiers? The aide looked slightly puzzled. Sir, we have noticed something unusual about them. They appear to be wearing winter uniforms. What? Santa Anna rushed to the top of the castle. It was true. The Americans were advancing towards the city in line, wearing furs and thick coats. Is Scott trying to lose this battle? His men will all sweat to death before they even reach the gates. Before he could say another word, something caught his eye. A figure in light blue stood near the American camp, arms outstretched. As he struggled to identify the figure, he remembered headlines from recent newspapers and who the Americans had allied with. No. Tell the men to get the fires. Sir, the men report dropping temperatures at the wall. Santa Anna gazed up at the sky as the first flakes began to form. And for the first time in forever, snow fell in central Mexico.
For the first time in forever.
For the first time in Do you know that song, right?
No.
What?
No.
That was the whole point of that last line. It's so beautiful.
No idea.
That's
None.
a song.
Okay. All right. I came up with a better name for the story.
Okay, what is it?
You ready?
Yeah.
Manifest Destiny.
Why? Because of the Oregon Territory?
Yeah, and it was like Destiny that she was helping them. Because I was thinking, you know, we really got a lot from Elsa helping us, you know?
Yeah.
She should have brought her friend Spider-Man, you know?
Spider-Man?
Spider-Man and Elsa. You haven't seen that on YouTube?
Yeah, I have.
Oh, okay. I was about to say. It's creepy. It's awful.
Yeah, YouTube kids, like,
Yeah.
debacle.
Spider-Man Elsa porn. But I'm like, man, we got a lot because of Elsa's help.
Yeah, we owe a lot to her. To the great country.
For those of you who don't
Arendelle.
know, Elsa helped a lot with the founding of the country.
Well, the expansion.
The
of the
expansion.
country.
The expansion.
We did all the founding.
Yes.
Don't worry about that.
Us and Nicolas Cage. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Well, Nicolas Cage's great-great-great-grandfather.
Yes.
So how has this changed any of your perceptions about what Frozen could be?
Well, obviously, what it could be, I think, is better than what it is. There's a lot of potential there. I really like the writing. I'm going to be dead honest with you. I think the guy was a good writer, for sure.
He or she was excellent.
Oh, I think the person was a good writer. I know this is weird. I'd like to hear them write a 501st Stormtrooper story.
Why is that?
I don't know. They seem really detail-oriented with, like, war and getting things kind of right with facts. Seems like it would kind of work.
That's what drew me to this. And I thought you'd appreciate it.
Yeah. No, I like that. I will say, I think they hit a couple tropes. So when they're describing the bullet passing through the brain, I think that's something kind of common, which is totally unnecessary. That's always found in fanfic. I
like when information, it's like a tease. It's like you hear the crack, you're like, what happened? Then you get this long paragraph, and it's like, what is the point of this?
I get that. I just feel like the minutia of the details is really drawn out, and that's pretty common in fanfic.
Well, it gets you to really visualize what's happening, and then it pulls the rug out from you underneath.
I don't know if it's that, or if it's a inexperienced storyteller thinking if they get really detailed, if they get really detailed, then they sound like a better author.
This seems like it was employed at a good time. I don't know if this is
I can agree with that.
This seems like an experienced storyteller to me.
Okay.
Do you think any of these political themes will be or should be explored in the confirmed sequel?
There is a sequel.
Does this not give you hope about like what material there is to work with, though? That's what fan fiction should do. It should give you hope about all that's out there, all the rocks that can be overturned. And
well, I will tell you, I have my own head canon now. I would like to start a community, and we can have a fanon, but I have a feeling none of this will be addressed in Frozen 2.
So you have to do now.
Please don't say watch Frozen.
No, you've got to make it so big and such a huge community that it becomes canon.
Oh, Kripke me, please.
You need to Kripke.
I need to get Kripkeyed.
Bob Iger. You need to Kripke Disney. You got to do it.
Oh, I'll do it. Let's do it.
You've got the historical know-how.
They're a little anti-Semitic, but let's do it. Let's do it. They might not like me, but let's do it. I didn't think it was bad. I did not think it was bad at all.
Oh, thanks. That's about as high praise as I expected.
That's high praise.
That's high praise. That's high praise. High praise.
It's another callback, people. Nicolas Cage. Get with it. If you're not listening to all of them. Anyways. No, I think it was written well, for sure. I understand why they introduced the one Marine in the very beginning, just so his death had weight.
Right. And he comes up again.
Yeah.
Like I'm cutting things out for time.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of the Kristoff stuff, the Kristoff-Anna dynamic is explored. And Anna Elsa. I kind of want. There's a lot to cover in here, and I was focus more on the political side of it because I think
I would like that more.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
This is just for I do everything for you. I don't care who's listening
you.
right now. Everything is
Thank
for
you.
Alex.
Yes. Likewise for you, my friend.
Hey, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks.
As annoying as it is, the Sixth Semper Tyrannis was smart. That was intelligent, for sure.
This is obviously researched.
Yes.
Or at least
heavily.
Maybe they were in high school and they were taking all these classes at the time.
That could be it.
Yeah. And hey, good for them. They're paying attention. They're
they just
being
took
inspired.
A-push. They really want to pass their exam, and this is it.
If I were grading an A-push, that's AP US History.
Yeah.
An advanced placement high school course for anyone's listening. And I was grading this exam, I'd say, yeah, A+.
Checks out to me. When I took my A-push exam, mind you, I got a 5.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, you're excused.
I got a 5 too. Just
My
kidding.
dude, my guy.
5%.
5%.
Yeah.
We are the 5%. But I got a 5 out of 5. You're welcome. And in my essay portion, when you're writing an AP exam, you can write something and then cross it out, and it doesn't count.
Yeah, yes.
Right? And they advise you just to put a line through it, not to scribble it, because it takes time.
Too much time. Time is the essence.
Time's the essence. So I was cocky. I was so sure I was going to do well. I would write, and then I would put Bush did 9/11, and then single line through it, and then write some more.
Almost an underline.
Yeah, and then put, basically an underline, and then put Dick Cheney made money off the Iraq War line through it, and these people were like, "This guy knows a lot of history. This guy knows the real history."
This is the man who will be controlling history for our country, just so you know, everybody.
We need him. So, but no, I liked it. I thought it was good. Yeah, definitely some high points. I'm not going to let my personal feelings about Frozen get in the way of this author's creative choices.
I think that's very mature of you.
I'm trying to be as mature as possible.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah, is there anything else?
That's all I've got.
That's all.
I think I've alternated Arendelle enough for one day.
I think we have just jumped right into it as far as we could. So, thank you all for listening. I had a good time. Hope you guys had a good time. Remember, we're on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, SoundCloud, YouTube.
Ryan Reynolds' personal radio.
That one too. Facebook, Twitter. Anything else? Tumblr.
We're really hot on Tumblr.
Yeah. We're, from now on, only going to reblog Spider-Man Elsa porn on Tumblr and Gardevoir porn.
I think that'd be very on brand for us.
Absolutely. Yes. So,
well, there's no more porn on Tumblr, so we can't do that.
We'll sneak it in. It's on YouTube for some reason. There shouldn't be. So
that's true.
Why not?
We'll get in. We'll get under the radar.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you guys for listening. We'll see you next week. And remember, Six Semper Tyrannis, I guess.
Six Semper Tyrannis, the Republic shall rise.
No, Jesus.